6.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan. Ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
For something big.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR-FM. Facts and information. Today's learning for you normal with capable teachers whose heart and soul are divine. Delivered knowledge inside your home through 106.3 Dance Radio. Fully dedicated to serve the public in tribute to education, reproduce of radio-based instruction. We are pleased to deliver the utmost aim of education. Only here on 106.3 DWDR-FM.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. How are you today, our dear listeners and viewers? I hope that you and your family are all well and safe. This is teacher Annabel C. Acupido, ready to impart knowledge you need for today's lesson. I am also extending my greetings of love to everyone, especially our grade 9 learners. I would also like to say hello to my advisory class, grade 9 SPJ. With me today are my fellow smart English 9 mentors, Teacher Susana A. Dumon, Teacher Shirley C. Acosta, and Teacher Dennis U. Mendoza. And of course, I must not forget our patient and skillful technicians with us this afternoon, Teacher Joshua Reson Guillermo and Teacher Mark Bagamaspad. I would like also to greet our caring officer in charge, who is also celebrating his birthday today, Dr. Rodrigo V. Pascua. Happy birthday, sir. Our loving head teacher, Ma'am Ofelia S. Ralutin. And of course, our sweet friends, the English Learning Area Angels. Good afternoon to all of you.
May I also greet my learners, 9 Dalandan and 9 Calamansi. I hope that you are doing well this afternoon.
Blissful afternoon, everyone. Hello, grade 9 learners. Hi to 9 Darwin, Mendel, and Pasture.
And also to my 9 Guyabano. Ayan, hindi ako na. Kumusta kayo mga anak? 9 Guyabano, kumusta?
Okay, so for this afternoon, grade 9, you are going to listen to your second RBI lesson for the third quarter, which is about the stage play, Death of a Salesman, written by the American playwright Arthur Miller. With the learning competency, determine the relevance and the truthfulness of the ideas presented in the material given. As you listen, try to find out how Arthur Miller presented a tragic yet realistic view of society in the 1950s. Yes, dear learners, it happened a long time ago, and Miller may not seem to have much relation to modern-day high school learners. In addition, the story of the untimely death of the main character may not come across as something high school juniors would be able to relate to. However, one of the main reasons why this text is included in our topics is that its relevance to teenagers today. High school learners in the modern age are faced with more stress and pressure, especially during this global crisis where they live with constant fear of failure and uncertainty. The topic will be explained further during the live discussion. Here, you will be given tasks to work on to assess your understanding of today's lesson. And 10 peso worth of cell phone load will be given to whoever can give the correct answer to each question. So get ready with your learning activity sheet, ball pen, and paper. Thank you, sir.
Yes, wag din natin kalilimutan mga estudyante na kayo po ay pumunta na kayo sa inyong mga lugar kung saan matahimik at hindi kayo masyadong madidistract ng inyong lugar. At tignan niyo yung mga ginagamit nyo ngayon mga anak ha, baka mamaya ay meron kayong masagi. Tignan niyo yung mga electric cord natin dyan. Delikado kasi ang panahon ngayon. Sana ayusin niyo muna yung mga cord na ginagamit nyo ngayon kung kayo ay nakikinig para lang kayo po ay ligtas sa inyong lugar.
Lalo't mainit, sir.
Yes, ma'am. And we hope that you are okay dyan sa inyong kinalalagyanan. Ingat-ingat po tayo. And here, so handa na po tayo. Here's our RBI lesson for today.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta't magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio.
Language,
Grammar and Literature.
a program that will develop your vocabulary.
Comprehension.
Critical and analytical skills.
This is the English Learning Area. Only here on 106.3 the WDRFM Dance Radio.
Where learning is amazing.
Good morning, our dear listeners, especially the grade 9 learners of Doña Aurora National High School. This is your school on the air, and it's English time! We are happy to be with you today, dear learners. You can tune in every day in our station 106.3 DWDR-FM Dance Radio. I am your host and technical specialist for today, Teacher Michael Jan M. Tumula. Today, we are going to discuss biases and prejudices. How are you doing? It's nice to hear that you are good despite what's happening nowadays. Sending you a little sunshine to brighten your day as you always brighten ours. Well, I hope you have an amazing day. If you have any question about the lesson, you may send your message to your radio teacher's account through Messenger. Let's begin with our lesson for today. Let me introduce to you your amazing radio teacher, Teacher Catherine S. Ordinario.
Good day, learners, especially to our grade 9 learners who are listening right now. Welcome to another fun and exciting episode on English Time. I am Teacher Catherine Ordinario, your radio teacher and companion for a better way to understand today's lesson. But before we start, our topic is about biases and prejudices. Here are the learning objectives. First, you should be able to identify if the statement is bias or prejudice. give examples of bias and prejudice statement, and create a situation which shows biases, prejudices through drawing, comic strip, story, or dialogue. And the value focus of this is fairness and equality. My dear learners, our lesson is very essential because you will learn how to become sensitive to others without being biased or prejudiced. For our first learning activity, I will play the beginning part of a good debate. After that, you will answer these questions. 1. What is the topic debated by the participants? 2. Why do you think the participants come from different countries? And the last, do you think the topic is relevant nowadays? Why? So these are the questions that you have to answer later on. I hope you have noted these questions and will answer them. Here we go!
Welcome to our forum discussion on the roots of prejudice. We'll be talking about what our prejudices are, where they came from, how they're nourished, and perhaps even how to get rid of them. Let me introduce you to the 4 student participants in today's discussion. Ratnati Iskandardinata, high school student, 17 years old, and also a talented dancer from Indonesia. From Japan, Yoriko Konishi, whose lovely voice you've just heard. From time to time, we like you to get a sense of what we do in all those times when we aren't having serious discussions. We very often get Yoriko to dance or sing for us. She does both. From the United Kingdom, 18-year-old Judith Reeder. Judith's got a bit of a cold today. It did not come from swimming in the Atlantic Ocean, although she assures us that when she's in England, she does swim in the ocean during the winter. From the Philippines, Raul Contreras. Raul will be 16 years old, patriotically enough, on the 4th of July. He may admit some prejudices, but one he obviously doesn't have is a prejudice against women, or he wouldn't have been willing to appear tonight with 3 women being the only male on the program. Now, on this question of prejudice, perhaps we ought to start out by trying to define what you think prejudices are. What do you think prejudice is, Ratnati?
I think prejudice is a feeling of hate of people as a group or individual toward other people.
You say a feeling of hate. Do you think prejudice is as strong as hate?
Yes. When we ask somebody if he has a prejudice, then the answer will be, I hate such and such.
Well, I suppose that is true. What do you think prejudice is, Eureka?
Well, I have found out that if somebody distinguishes between 2 white men, it is not prejudice. But if somebody distinguishes between a white man and a colored man, it is prejudice.
I would define prejudice as a rigid opinion formed about a certain thing before there has been a just examination of the facts.
When a person loses track of the dignity of the human soul and begins to judge others not on the basis of their being persons, but on the basis of race, creed, economic status, that is prejudice.
Well, is it fair to ask you whether you have any prejudices?
Well, I guess so, Mrs. Waller, and being brutally frank, I'm prejudiced against Japanese. Well, not to the extent that I hate them. No, not that way. But I got this, well, as a result of World War II. Because, well, I guess I was yet too young to understand what happened during those times. But I think...
Dance Radio, sinihalan sa radyo, atid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta't magtulong-tulong, sulong edukalidad. Dance Radio, learning is amazing.
Language,
grammar and literature,
A program that will develop your vocabulary.
comprehension, critical and analytical skills.
This is the English Learning Area. Only here on 106.3, the WDRFM Dance Radio.
Where learning is amazing.
Good day, everyone, especially to our dear listeners. You are listening to our school's radio station, 106.3 DWDRFM, Dance Radio. Let us start our new day with positivity while listening to our enjoyable lessons in English 9, Quarter 3. Make sure that you are in a comfortable place and free from any distraction while listening. Bring with you your learning activity sheets for our lesson today. With the competency, determine the relevance and the truthfulness of ideas presented in the material given. If you have any question about your lesson, you can send through the email address and messenger account of your teacher that can be seen in your kit. To start with, let me introduce to you your amazing radio teacher, Teacher Nina Jenny C. Guillermo.
Hello, our dear grade 9 learners. I know you are very excited to listen to our lessons.
Yes, ma'am.
A new day offers the chance to start afresh, to achieve those things you most desire. Are you ready to have a new lesson today?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, I am pleased to hear that. Can you still recall our previous lesson about dreams? Can you cite important insight about it?
Yes, ma'am. To achieve my dream, I have to work on my plans and priorities.
Exactly. Goal is important because it leads to the right path in order to succeed. It also provides focus if you have a clear target in mind.
Yes, ma'am. It gives me a realization what life is all about. Never give up to challenges but continue reaching my dream.
Amazing! I am so impressed that you get the value of our previous lesson. For today's RBI lesson, you are expected to determine the relevance and the truthfulness of the play Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. Also to use experiences or knowledge to discuss the play Death of a Salesman and to identify the theme of the play. But before we start with the story, you will be listening first to the song titled How Far I'll Go by Auli E. Cravalho.
Alright!
Are you familiar with the song?
Yes, ma'am. The song was used in the Disney's 2016 animated feature film, Moana.
You are right! Listen attentively because you will be answering questions afterwards. Did you like the song?
Very much, ma'am.
What do you think is the message of the song?
Ma'am, it is about dreams. Moana is ready to make dramatic changes to follow her dreams and not to be held back by anybody else.
Ma'am, Moana is ready to leave the island where she lives. And her life-changing decision isn't going to be easy.
Your answers are all correct. The song is all about following our dreams. Making the move, taking our first step.
Let's go, let's go.
Ma'am, it is also about strength, independence in finding your own way towards dreams.
Very good, my dear learners. You really listened to the song. Now, let's move on with the vocabulary part. Before reading the summary of the play titled Death of a Salesman, we will unlock first some unfamiliar words that can be found in your learning activity sheets to better understand the summary. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
The first word is salesman. My dear learners, can you describe what is a salesman?
Ma'am, a salesman is also called sales representative or salesperson. A salesman sells products or services to businesses or consumers.
Very good. What else?
Salesmen explain how a product works or what services are available, provide sales materials such as brochures and pamphlets.
Amazing answer! Can you use the word salesman in a sentence?
The salesman persuaded us to buy his product.
Correct! What about the word sobbing? With my sentence, half an hour later, her eyes swollen and her chest sore from sobbing. She turned her face up to the warm water in the shower. What do you think is the meaning of the word sobbing?
Ma'am, the meaning of the word sobbing is crying.
Amazing answer! Can you use the word sobbing in a sentence?
Anna was sobbing painfully because her dog died.
Great answer! Next word, we have delusion. In the sentence, he is living under the delusion that he is incapable of making mistakes. Can you think of the meaning of the word?
Yes, ma'am. The word delusion means imagination or hallucination.
Correct! Can you use it in a sentence?
He has delusions about how much money he can make at that job.
You are all great! For now, you are going to listen to a short summary of the play titled Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. For the information of everybody, Arthur Miller was an American playwright and essayist in the 20th century.
Wow!
Listen carefully to be able to answer the questions after the summary. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So now, let's listen.
Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller. Willie Loman, an old salesman, returns early from a business trip. After nearly crashing multiple times, Willie has a moment of enlightenment and realizes he shouldn't be driving. Seeing that her husband is no longer able to do his job as a traveling salesman, Willie's wife, Linda, suggests that he ask his boss, Howard, to give him a local office job at the New York headquarters. Willie thinks that getting a new job is a sure thing since he sees himself as a valuable salesman. We begin to learn some family background and hear about Willie and Linda's grown sons, Biff and Happy. Biff has just returned home from working as a farmhand in the West. In the middle of the night, Willie's talking to himself so loudly that everyone wakes up. Linda admits to her sons that she and Willie are struggling financially. Worse, Willie has been attempting suicide. She's worried and takes it out on her boys, accusing Biff of being the cause of Willie's unhappiness. Now, Willie gets in on a family discussion, and the situation goes downhill. He and Biff begin to argue. But Happy interjects that Biff plans to see Oliver the following morning. Willie is overjoyed. Everyone goes to sleep believing that tomorrow will fulfill their dreams. Willie expects to get a local job, and Biff expects to get a business loan. The next day, of course, everything goes wrong. Willie feels happy and confident as he meets with his boss Howard. But instead of getting a transfer to New York office, Willie gets fired.
You're fired!
Destroyed by the news, he begins to hallucinate. And yes, once again, speak with imaginary people as he heads out to meet his sons at a restaurant. Waiting for their dad at the restaurant, Biff explains to Happy that Oliver wouldn't see him and didn't have the slightest idea who he was. By now, Biff has realized that he was crazy to think he would ever get a loan, and that he and his family have been lying to themselves for basically their entire lives. When Willie comes into the restaurant demanding good news, Biff struggles to explain what happened without letting his father down. Willie, who can't handle the disappointment, tries to pretend it is not true. Biff and Happy return home from their dates to find their mother waiting for them, fuming mad that they left their father at the restaurant. No one wants to listen to Biff, but he manages to get the point across that he can't live up to his dad's unrealistic expectations and is basically just a failure. He's the only one who sees that they've been living in a lie, and he tells them so. The night's fight ends with Willie realizing that Biff, although a failure, seems to really love him. Unfortunately, Willie can't get past the failure bit. He thinks the greatest contribution that he himself can make toward his son's success is to commit suicide.
Oh no!
That way, Biff could use the life insurance money to start a business. Within a few minutes, there's a loud crash. Willie has killed himself.
Oh no!
In the final scene, Linda, sobbing, still under the delusion that her husband was a well-liked salesman, wonders why no one came to his funeral. Biff continues to see through his family's lies and wants to be a better man who is honest with himself. Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller.
I bet you have understood the summary of the play titled Death of a Salesman. Am I right, learners?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, who are the main characters in the play?
Ma'am, the main characters in the play Death of a Salesman are Willie, Linda, Beef, and Happy.
Wow, you are great! With the play Death of a Salesman, achieving dream was also the theme, like our previous lesson, A Raisin in the Sun. What is the dream of Willie Loman in the play?
Ma'am, Willie Loman wants the American dream.
Exactly! And what is American dream?
Willie Loman wants to become a great man. He believes that a job in the salesmanship is the way to achieve his dream.
Yes! In addition, Willie Loman wishes to reinvent himself into a man who receives respect and is looked at with admiration. Throughout the play, Willie is searching, but for the moment his life took a wrong turn because he doesn't understand why or how. With all the hard work and effort he failed into his dream, it never came to fruition.
Ma'am, perhaps his dream was the right one for him. But even then, he went about going after in an inappropriate manner.
He should not be rude to his superiors, ma'am.
Precisely! There will always be a way for him to succeed. But Willie unfortunately ended up choosing the wrong path. Anybody who can tell me what happened to Willie Loman at the end?
Ma'am, he committed suicide for not attaining his dream.
Ma'am, Willie Loman made himself a loser in the end by killing himself.
Did he make the right thing?
No, ma'am. Committing suicide is not the solution to a problem.
That is correct. Well, there is a moment in our life that we feel depressed. Maybe because of unfulfilled dreams. But let's always remember that our life is precious. Life is precious because it was given to us by God as a gift, and we are here on earth for a purpose. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Any question?
Ma'am, how should we deal with unfulfilled dreams?
That's a good question. Having dreams remain unfulfilled can really affect us. The fact that we all have dreams is a proof that fulfilling them is an important part of our lives. We have to deal with our unfulfilled dreams. We have to identify what's stopping us. Our fears sometimes play out as excuses for being responsible or doing the right thing. Let's have sharing of ideas. Anyone?
Ma'am, we have to determine the meaning of our dreams. It should be clear and we should be aware of what's costing us to have our dreams be fulfilled.
Very good. We should also take one small action. We can sometimes overthink things which can create more confusion. When we take one small action, we'll know that action to take next.
Ma'am, when we feel depressed, we can also talk to our parents, teachers, and friends.
Yes, that's the right thing to do. Being around with people who are courageously and actively pursuing your dreams will affect you in a positive way. Let's now answer activity 1 of your learning activity sheets titled Name the Character. You are expected to match the names of the character in column A with their descriptions in column B. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's do number 1. Describe Willie in the play.
Ma'am, the answer is letter E. Willie is a salesman who worked for 34 years in a company.
Correct! Let's proceed with number 2. Who is Linda?
Ma'am, the answer is letter D. Linda is Willie's patient and loving wife.
Amazing answer! It's letter D. What about number 3? What is the description given to Beef?
Ma'am, the answer is letter B. Beef is the eldest of the Loman's boys who had difficulty finding a stable job.
Very good! In number 4, who is Happy?
Ma'am, it's letter A. Happy is one of the Loman's boys who was largely ignored and he was irresponsible.
Correct! What about the next number? What is the description given to the woman?
Ma'am, the woman is someone who had an incident affair with Willie. It's letter C.
Wow! You are very good! Now, let's move on to the next number. Who is Ben in the story?
Ma'am, Ben is Willie's brother who was successful at a young age when he went to Alaska. It's letter G.
Yes, you are correct. Let us proceed with number 7. Who is Charlie?
Ma'am, the answer is letter H. Charlie is the longtime friend of Willie who became successful in work and in life.
Precisely. What about the last number? Who is Bernard?
Ma'am, letter F. Bernard is Charlie's son and friend of the Loman boys.
You are correct. Very good. You deserve a wonderful clap. Are you now ready to go to our next exercise?
Yes, ma'am.
Turn your learning activity sheets on pages 2 and 3. Activity 2, titled Answer Me. Answer the following questions briefly, but substantially. Let's answer number 1. Who is the protagonist in the story? The one you undergo some sort of change throughout the play.
Ma'am, the protagonist in the story is no other than the salesman, Willie Loman.
You are correct! Willie Loman is the main character in the play, The Death of a Salesman. Let's proceed with number 2. Who is the antagonist? He or she could be one of the characters that provide the obstacle or obstacles for the protagonist.
Ma'am, what is an antagonist?
When we say antagonist, it is a person who actively opposes to someone or something. In vernacular, antagonist is kontrabida or kalaban, while the protagonist is called bida. Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the antagonist in the play was also Willie because of his misguided values about success and the twisted version of his American dream.
Willie Loman committed suicide at the end of the play, ma'am. He is considered the antagonist.
Very good answer. You are very witty. Aside from Willie Loman, we can also consider Beep as antagonist. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am. Beef failed to fulfill Willie's expectation, and that makes him a complete failure in his father's eyes.
Comprehensive explanation. Let's have question number 3. Who among the characters in the play do you like best? Why?
The character I like best in the play is the character of Linda Loman. She is a simply loving and understanding wife who is very loyal and stands between his husband and son Beef.
Amazing answer. What about you? Who do you like best?
Ma'am, I also like the character of Linda Lohman because she is just a simple character among the others. But her simplicity is what actually makes her important to the life of Willie Lohman.
Very well said. You are all correct. And for activity number 3, you are to decide whether the given statements could be considered a message or a theme conveyed by the play, titled Death of a Salesman. You are expected to write A if you agree and D if you disagree with your brief explanation. You may continue answering this activity after this broadcast. Before we end our lesson today, let us summarize what we have taken up. We discussed the play Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller as well as the themes of the play. The protagonist in the play, Willie Lohman, the salesman, was so ambitious to reach for his dreams. But at the end of the play, his misguided values affect his dreams, resulting to his unfulfilled dreams. How would you deal with unfulfilled dreams?
Ma'am, try and try until you succeed.
Yes, you are correct. We should not lose hope to achieve our dream. We all have dreams, but sometimes it's not possible for us to fulfill all of these dreams. Someone said, you can be the greatest. You can be the best. It depends on you on how you see your dreams.
Yeah, you can be the greatest. You can be the best.
Start making steps towards them. No matter how big or small, because every effort counts, and every count takes you closer to your dreams. They may seem far sometimes, but it's your hard work and consistent effort that will bring them closer. So wake up, because it's never too late to start.
Ma'am, I should value my life and not to destroy it because of unfulfilled dreams.
Very good! You are all amazing. Life is so precious. Let us trust God that He has better and greater plans in our life that is yet to unfold. Let us consider the rejection as our redirection. Unanswered prayers are often blessings in disguise. They force us to face ourselves and rediscover our best.
Ma'am, if dreams are unfulfilled, then let's reflect. Maybe they are not for us, or God wants something better for us. But we have to put full efforts first, and we should learn from our mistakes, then try again.
Fantastic! Dreams change from time to time along with our experiences and growth. Yes, there are certain dreams that we have been holding for quite long period. I have many dreams, my list that I need to work on. And I'm looking forward to seeing more dreams to come. As I said earlier, along with our personal growth, dream breeds more desires and dreams. Now, let us move on to these questions. Do you value your life? How do you value your life?
Ma'am, I value myself more than money. I treat myself with respect. I avoid bad habits that can make my health weaker. I go regular checkups and eat a balanced diet.
Wow, that sounds great! You mean your health is your wealth?
Ma'am, spending time and having an open communication with our family and friends.
Yes, you can talk to them about your plans. Be with them in times of happiness and sadness. Communication helps you express your ideas and feelings, and at the same time, it helps you understand emotion and thoughts. I hope you have understood our lesson. Just a few reminders before I finally end. Finish answering all the given activities stated in your learning activity sheets, including your reflection and the validating questions. You may do so after this broadcast. Once again, I am your radio teacher, Teacher Nina Jenny C. Guillermo. Goodbye and thank you for listening.
Wow! Another lesson is done for today. For you to fully understand our lesson, you can read again your learning activity sheets. Take note, your outputs should be submitted to our school. The assigned teacher will collect it at the designated area in your barangay. Don't forget to follow the necessary health protocols that our government has issued when submitting your outputs. Your teacher will wait for your questions or queries about our lesson for today through text, messenger, and emails. For your next lesson, we will be exploring more on literature, so be prepared for more exciting and fun-filled activities. Make sure to always tune in to our school's radio station, 106.3 DWDR-FM. Dance Radio, where learning is amazing. That's all for today, my dear learners. On behalf of the production team, we would like to acknowledge our radio teacher, Teacher Nina Jenny C. Guillermo, for delivering your lesson in English 9. Our script writer, Teacher Venus J. Lintao. Our language editor, Teacher Susana B. Dumon.
Wow!
Our content editor, Teacher Ophelia S. Relatin, the head teacher 5 of English Learning Area. And of course, with the technical specialist, yours truly. Again, I am your host for today, Teacher Michael John M. Tumula, leaving you an inspirational quote of life. God has a purpose for your pain, a reason for struggle, and a gift for your faithfulness. Don't give up! That's all for today. Goodbye!
Language,
Grammar, and literature.
a program that will develop your vocabulary.
Comprehension, critical and analytical skills.
This is the English Learning Area. Only here on 106.3 DWDR-FM Dance Radio.
Where learning is amazing. Dance Radio, siniparalan sa radyo. Hatid namin makabago, paraan ang pagtuturo.
Wala nang makakapigil pa. Sulong Arangkada 106.3 Dance Radio sa Aurora, Isabela.
Edukasyo'y susulong, basta na magtulong-tulong. Sulong edukalidad, Dance Radio. Learning is amazing.
you had it, my dear grade 9 learners, the discussion of your lesson on radio. I hope you are having a wonderful time as we go through with our lesson this afternoon. Remember, our learning competency is determine the relevance and the truthfulness of the ideas presented in the material given, wherein you are expected to A. Demonstrate knowledge and understanding of the main events and characters as they relate to the author's theme development. You should also be able to gain a better understanding of the importance of one's own values. So here is the flow of our discussion. Ma'am Shirley will give the review part. I will facilitate the motivation part. All of us will take parts in the discussion of the lesson, and Ma'am Shirley will take charge of the evaluation part. So let's get started with the recall of our previous lesson. Here's Ma'am Shirley.
Alright, so may I first check if our learners can still recall the topic that was discussed last week. So what was the lesson for week 1? Okay, could you still remember, our dear learners? So please key in your answer in the comment box. Okay, so you will just give the title of our past lesson.
Lori Faye Orate, sabi niya, Bias and Prejudice.
Okay, correct.
Alright, very good.
Cyril May Limos, Bias versus Prejudice.
Okay, so we have already Miss Lorly Faye Orate of 9SPJ. Okay, congratulations. Okay, so last week, our topic was Bias versus Prejudice for Learning, Activity Sheet 1, and differentiate biases from prejudices for Learning Activity Sheet 2. So the word bias means a tendency to favor one person, group, thing, or point of view over another, often in an unfair way. The word prejudice means an unfavorable opinion or feeling formed beforehand or without knowledge, thought, or reason. So, get ready for our review. So, I have here 5 situations. So, your task is to identify if the given situation is bias or prejudice. So, comment your name, section, item number, and then you're going to write bias or prejudice to win 10 peso worth of cellphone load.
And dahil dyan, pinasasalamatan din po namin ang aming pong sponsor sa mga cellphone load po namin mula pa po kahapon, si Ma'am Lorna Tan Nevado. Ma'am Larna, is Ma'am Lorna Tan Nevado. Ma'am, maraming salamat po.
Alright, so let's proceed to the first statement. So you will just key in whether bias or prejudice. Okay, so don't forget to type also the item number. So let's have the first one. So the average median salary for men is about 18% higher than women's. Again, the average median salary for men is about 18% higher than women's. Okay, is it bias or prejudice? Alright, so let's see from our learners' responses.
Ang nauna sa akin, ma'am, si Edesa Monique.
Okay, so what's her answer, Teacher Annabel?
Bias. Si Edesa Monique Santos, 9 Lanzones.
Okay, so Edesa answered bias. You're right, it's bias. Okay, why bias? Bias because it is a gender bias. The favoring of one gender over another.
Mas mabilis na naman si Maribeth Gante. Number 2 na agad ang sagot niya.
Wala pa. Oh, number 2 na.
Okay. Let us proceed to the second one. Okay, an older teacher was passed over for a promotion, which ended up going to a younger teacher with less seniority and experience. Again, an older teacher was passed over for a promotion, which ended up going to a younger teacher with less seniority and experience.
Maribeth
So ano po ang sagot?
Bias.
Okay, so tignan po na sino po ang tamang nakasagot po sa kanila. Ha?
Ang nauna po ay si Maribeth Gante, 9 Anonas.
Sa akin,
Okay.
ano ba ito? Andrian Paul sa akin na una ba? Paano yan? Ay, number 1 pala yung sinagot niya.
Oh,
Sige,
number
tama.
1 tama. Si Maribeth Gante, 9
Okay,
Anonas.
so you're correct,
Yes,
Maribeth
Maribeth
Gante. Congratulations. Why bias? Because it is stereotyping or discriminating against others based on their age.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3. Many consider that women with short hair who are accustomed to wearing dresses or skirts are lesbians. Many consider that women with short hair who are accustomed to wearing dresses or skirts are lesbians.
Okay, so the answer is?
Wala pa, sir.
Dito naman, meron na po dito si Edesa Monique Santos.
Okay.
Sagot
Anong
niya
number
ay,
3 na yun, sir?
Number 3. Yes, ma'am. Number 3. Sagot niya ay prejudice. 9 Lanzones, prejudice.
Okay, you are right,
Cyril
Edesa.
May Limos, 9 Chico, prejudice.
Okay, so we have already a winner, Edesa Santos. She answered prejudice. You're correct. So, why prejudice? Because women are judged based on the clothes they wear.
Pangilan na ni Edesa yan, ma'am?
Second.
Ay, second. Okay lang, okay lang.
Okay lang. Okay, let us proceed to the fourth one. A hiring manager chose a job applicant because they graduated from the same university. A hiring manager chose a job applicant because they graduated from the same university. Alright, so
Lori Faye Orate, sagot niya ay 9 SPJ, bias.
Okay, correct.
okay, congratulations, Lorly. So why bias? Bias because it favors people who share similar interests, backgrounds, or experiences.
Bali mga anak, ang binabasa po namin dito yung mga correct answer na po ha, para po dire-diretso lang po tayo.
Yes. Number 5. People with mental illnesses are prone to violence. People with mental illnesses are prone to violence. Okay, do you have already?
Lori Faye Orate, SPJ, sabi niya rito ay prejudice.
Okay, very good, Miss Orate. So, why prejudice? Because this perception has developed only from the stereotypes portrayed in movies or written about in books. Congratulations to all winners.
Okay. We also posted a question in the FB community page on 106.3 FM Dance Radio to evaluate our learners' understanding of the lesson. The question was, as a learner, how would you avoid the issue on being biased and prejudiced in the society? Many of our grade 9 learners answered the question, and the first learner who gave an answer was Angeli Pineda of 9 Darwin under Ma'am Susana B. Dumont. She will also be given 10 pesos worth of cellphone load. Please allow me to read her answer to the question. Yan, sabi rito, ito basahin ko. As a learner, I will prevent the issue being biased or prejudiced in this country by simply act it to myself, not being like this. And I will tell and show to others what might happen if this will continue. And by telling them that many people will hurt their feelings or experience low of confidence because of what we say to them. Congratulations, Angeli Pineda.
Marami ring sumagot na ibang learners, sir.
Yes,
Pero si Angeli kasi yung pinakaunang sumagot. Although correct din yung answers nung karamihan.
Yes,
Okay. Almost, lahat yata tama yung mga sagot.
Oh yeah, congratulations, dear students. Congratulations.
Okay, so congratulations, Angeli. Siya yung pinakaunang sumagot sa validating question natin sa 106.3 FB Community.
Sumagot ka lang, nagka-premyo ka.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin, right after the discussion, sinagot niya agad yan. Okay. So, Angeli's answer to the question is a manifestation of her positive personal values, which will surely affect not only her life, but also other people's lives too. It is a fact that your values are comprised of the things you think and believe are essential in the way you work and live your life. Your values are what should help you identify your priorities, both at work and in life. It is also your values that you can use to determine whether the things that are going on in your life are part of your plans or intentions. You can say that life is good when your decisions, behavior, and lifestyle actually match your values. So this is when you can feel contentment and satisfaction. So in your life now, what do you value the most? And why do you consider it the most important thing? So while waiting for our learners' answers, may I ask the same questions to you, my friends? Ma'am Susan?
Okay, good afternoon once again. I value my health the most. If my health deteriorates, my capacity to function normally will be lessened. If I am healthy, I can work better. Good health is necessary for happiness. It is necessary for my spiritual, for my social, and for my professional growth.
Okay, for me, I value peace of mind the most. Okay, peace of mind will enable me to manifest calmness and tranquility in my daily life. And also in difficult and trying situations. It will allow me to display emotional and mental detachment whenever I needed. And therefore, avoid being too affected by other people's words, feelings, and behavior. Okay? So it will also enable me to control others people's reactions and become a happy, patient, tolerant, and open-minded human being.
How about you, Sir Dennis?
Beside my job, siyempre, I value most my family, my mom, ha? My mom is the most important for all. It's good that when you go home, your mother will be there to meet you, even though you know that she can step on her feet. She already cooked, tapos na nakapagluto, you just eat. Now, we'll wash the dishes when she knows you are busy, and most of all, you will be asked if you still have money. Yan. Wala naman siya ibibigay. And that's okay. Normal kasi yun. Ayan.
Okay. How about our learners?
Ayan, meron
Ang
na po
unang
tayo.
sumagot si Christian Vino.
Yes.
Bibigyan din natin siya ng 10 peso worth of cellphone load. Pakibasa, sir, yung
Yes,
Christian Vino. 9 Darwin.
I value my friends and family the most. I consider them as the most important to me because they are the people that keeps on cheering and supporting me. I may fail and make mistakes, but they will accept and comfort me, and I thank them for that.
Okay. How about Jewel Lacanilao?
Jewel Lacanilao.
9 SPJ.
In my life now, what I value most is my family. My family is my everything, and they are very important to me because no matter what happens, they will always be there for me. If I didn't have the family that I do now, my life would be very different. My family has always taught me that no matter what problems I face, they are always there for me, supporting me. They taught me many life lessons and good manners that I can apply in my life. I know not everyone has a perfect family. I must be grateful for what I have now.
Okay. So, ganun din si Glyza San Salvador, si Natasha Perltan. So, lahat sila ay family. Okay. So, para sa kanila, karamihan sa atin, family is the most important people in our life. Diba? Sila yung they are the parang kung wala sila rin ang buhay natin.
Oo, ma'am, diba?
Yes.
Huwag sabihin ng mga bata, ganito mga pinapaunawa lang natin, ha? May trabaho kami, bina-value din namin ito. Pinapalaga namin ng pero kami po ay naghahanap buhay, nagtatrabaho kasi sa aming pamilya. Wala kasi yung parang nagpapalakas sa amin. Alam mo yung wala kang pamilya, kahit huwag kang magtrabaho eh. Bakit? Wala ka namang pamilya eh. Kain ka lang, pwede ka naman sa kapitbahay mo. Pero pag may pamilya ka pala, talagang i-treasure niyo.
Oo. Because our family is actually our source of inspiration, strength, and happiness.
Yes.
Okay. But in the play of a salesman, Willie, the main character, considered money and materialism the most important things in his life. So Willie's monetary anxieties greatly affected him, overwhelming him with the need to produce money, pera. This leads to one of the themes of the play, which is nature versus city. The comparison between nature and city was shown through Willie's love for music. He was a great admirer of natures. It appeared that he was certainly prone to adore and appreciate nature. He even expressed a desire to his wife to retire to the countryside and start a farm. He was also wonderful in outdoor skills, but his primary motivation was to become a successful salesman in the city. So the benefits of living in the countryside are well established. Research shows that countryside living is beneficial to both mental as well as physical health because life in the province is slower. Just like the indigenous peoples or the IPs belonging to 110 ethno-linguistic groups in the Philippines, living in upland areas, like what is shown in the picture, in the presentation, which they consider their territories. So here is a fast fact about the IPs in the Philippines. The Philippines is a culturally diverse country with an estimated 17 million indigenous peoples. They are mainly concentrated in northern Luzon, particularly in the Cordillera Administrative Region. So 33% of 17 million ay nasa northern Luzon. 6% of 17 million na IPs ay nasa Visayas, and 61% pinakamarami sa Mindanao.
Yes.
Okay. So how many indigenous peoples are there in northern Luzon, in Visayas, and in Mindanao?
Take note, dear learners, this is according to research.
Research, oo.
Yeah,
Latest
okay.
ito. Okay. So, parang kailangan natin ng medyo math ito, sir. Kailangan natin dito ng tatawag ng mga bata. Parang kailangan nilang may kasama na mag-solve kasi milyon na ang usapan dito eh. So, yan.
Million.
Ayan,
Sa Northern Luzon daw, may 33%, and in Visayas, we have 6%, and in Mindanao, we have 61%.
61.
So if we have 17 million
IPs
or
in the
million
Philippines,
indigenous peoples, so how many IPs do we have in Northern Luzon when we have 33% of them, and 6% in Visayas, and we have 61% in Mindanao?
So, kailangan natin ng collaboration dito na magagaling sa ating mga learners.
Yes. So, you may call us through video chat. Tama ba ako? Video call.
Pwede sa messenger, sa akin, or sa cellphone number 0905-794-2341. I repeat, 0905-794-2341. Pero pwede rin naman sa messenger, sir.
Okay.
Kung ano, kasi karamihan sa mga bata, ano na eh, may wifi na, doon na sila tumatawag sa messenger.
Ayan, may tumatawag na po.
Someone is calling.
Someone is calling on the line. Hello.
Okay lang.
Hello.
Hello? Naka-on ang video ko. Ay, hello, Glaysaan? Glaysaan ang na-appear na pangalan.
From
Hello, anak.
Lapis naman sa Okay, Glyza. It's Glyza. Hello?
Glyza, anong nag-appear?
Hello, Glyza.
Hello po.
Ayan, Glyza, sinong kasama mo?
Si Jewel na Kanilaw po.
Jewel.
Jewel.
Jewel. Ilan kayo anak? Dalawa lang kayo?
Opo.
Maliban sa aso nyo, sa pusa nyo, wala na ibang kasama? Okay, sige. Sige anak, paano mo pagsagot nila ma'am?
Sige anak.
Sige anak.
How many IPs are found in Northern Luzon? Kung 33% ang nakalagay dyan.
Ma'am, 5,600,000 po.
5 million.
Repeat anak ko.
5,610,000 po.
Okay, 5,610,000. Okay, correct. How about yung Visayas? Baka pwede natin pakinggan din si ano? Yung sino kasama mo, anak? Ay? Aside from Jewel, sino pa ang kasama mo, anak, na nag-collab mo dito?
Ismael Pascual po, ma'am.
Ay, si Ismael Pascual.
Ismael
Okay.
Pascual, okay.
Ismael, would you like to solve yung Visayas? Naka-video kasi.
Okay, Ismael? Ismael Bernal?
Ismael?
Ismael,
Ismael, hello? Naririnig mo kami, Ismael? Hello, anak ko. How about in Visayas, anak? Ilan lahat ang IPs doon? Kung 17 million ang total population ng IPs sa Pilipinas. Mahina si Ismael. Itong audio niya. Hello, Ismael? Anong sagot mo doon, anak, sa Visayas? Naririnig mo ako? $1 million? Lakasan mo boses man ako. Okay, 1,020,000. Okay, very good. Sino sasagot sa Mindanao? Parang meron pa, nag-join pa si Hans.
Ayan. Sige.
Sinong sasagot sa Mindanao, anak? 61%.
Ma'am, 10,037,000 po.
Ay, 10 million. Sinong sumagot? Si Jewel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, si Jewel. 10,370,000. Paano mo na-solve yan, anak? Paano mo nakuha yung 5,610,000, 1,020,000, and 10,370,000? Sinong sasagot doon?
Ma'am, yung sa Northern Luzon po, 17 million multiplied by 0.33 for yun po.
5 million. Okay, very good. So, 17 million times 0.33. Very good. How about Visayas, anak?
Ma'am, sa Visayas po, 17 million multiplied by 0.6.
Yes, very good. 17 million times 0.6. 0.06. Okay. How about sa Mindanao? 0.61. Okay, very good. So, if you are going to add those three answers, will arrive at 17 million total population of IPs in the Philippines. So, sino-sino kayo, anak ko, na nag-collab dito? Ang nakaregister dito, sir, is Glyza Ann, Ismael
Pascual, and
Hans. Pero,
Hans.
Tsaka si Jewel daw.
Hans, sino si Hans? May Hans? And Jewel?
Magkakasama daw sila ni Glyza ngayon.
So,
Pero yung iba,
apat
sa
sila.
messenger.
Apat sila, ma'am. Okay, so therefore.
Si Glyza daw at si Jewel magkasama ngayon, and then group call itong
okay.
dalawa.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, anak. So all of them, each of them will receive 10
pesos worth of load,
Okay,
brought to
very
you
good.
by our sponsor, Ma'am Larna.
Okay, thank you, anak. Thank you very much.
Nevado. Thank you, Ma'am Larna. Yan. Ma'am, meron din po sumagot sa atin sa official sakon natin, ha? Si Romar Fajardo, kompleto po ang sagot niya. Sino po ba isa? Romar Fajardo, thank you, anak, ha? Kay Ma'am Shirley Acosta daw siya. Si Rio. This is Rio Morsti de Guzman. Salamat, anak. Okay. Good. Mel Terry John Domingo. Okay, thank you, anak. Yan. Maraming mga sumagot din sa atin at lahat sila ay maraming po sumagot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yan. So, just imagine how relaxing and peaceful the life of the indigenous people in the province. No, di ba? Ang ganda. It is so relaxing and peaceful. You'll get to enjoy the breathtaking natural sceneries, but tanong natin ito, but why do some people prefer to live in the city?
Oo nga, ano? Marami pa rin nagpupunta sa city. Maybe it's because of the presence of a larger scope for enjoying services and improved facilities like LRT, MRT, mga ganyan. And therefore, enjoying a better quality of living. With the advancement of technology, cities are becoming bigger and more sophisticated, and more opportunities are opening up towards a brighter and happier future. Mas marami kasing parang pagtatrabahuan doon. But because of modern technological and cultural progress, cities become overpopulated. And these people rely on technology for nearly everything. They would simply be unable to function without electronic devices such as computers and phone systems with cables and wires. If these wires, mga linya ng kuryente, are not positioned and maintained properly, they can become major fire hazards. O, kung ngayon, March. Fire Prevention Month.
Fire Prevention Month.
Last day of March, ha?
So here are some tips to prevent an electrical fire. Dagitoy na dumaduma nga wagas, no kasano nga malapdan ti puor gapu iti kuryente. Dingig kayo. Number 1, inspect electrical wiring. Suki-sukem, kitaem. Dagita linya iti kuryente. Dagita saksakan, plug, kasta. Check and replace old wiring. Sukatan, dagiti, daanen nga wirings. No 10 years old ka no dayta wirings mon, wirings ta balayo, ipa-check tayo kano. Check the plugs. Number 3 ha, check the plugs on electrical appliances. Kitain, dagiti, saksakan. Number 4, don't overload your home's electrical outlets. Saan ka nga agisaksak iti nakaadu. Nagisaksakan iti TV, tapos nagisaksak ka pa iti ref mo di jay, yung kabel mo pa di jay cellphone mo, anak ko, overloaded daytan. Keep flammable materials away.
Nala ka mapuuran.
Panpana, gundo materials nga nala ka nga mapuuran. Ata, flammable materials yung mga yan. And then, use surge protectors. Naku, nangataday tayo, surge protectors. Agaramat, wenno agusar, iti surge protector. O, daytani.
Tayo yung sample.
Daytati example, surge protector outlet. Sa laknib iti panagnato iti voltahe iti kuryente. Nakakita kayo kastan pagatangaktuman. Tapno malapdan iti puor gapo iti electric. So dagiti na dumaduma nga wagas no kasano nga malapdan ti puor gapo iti kuryente. Sir Dennis?
Yes, ma'am. This fast and progressive life in the city leads to the second theme of the play, which is fake existence or fact or kinapudno versus fantasy, when yung magbabagata yung arapaap or darep-dep. Willie Loman turned out to be an obsessive believer of the deity of success. Success to him was life, and life was all about success. You know, he was living a fanciful, fake life that was filled with illusions. He was arrogant, egocentric, and unreasonably over-assertive. It was because of these flaws that he was unable to accept the face the fact of the reality. He would used to lie to others. Magaling siya magsinungaling. Magagawa niya magsinungaling. And was just making himself a fool by false vision of his popularity. In our present time, have you seen or encountered pretentious people, dear learners?
Okay, so for that question, Sir Dennis, so pretentious people are almost everywhere. Okay, so pretentious people are so desperate to be admired by other people that they will put a lot of effort into pretending to be something else. When they are trying to show the world their very best selves, they head straight to their social media accounts like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So behind the protection of their screen, they can be anyone they want.
Yes.
So they just want to give an impressive look that doesn't really exist. Okay, so this time, let's find out if our learners can distinguish fact from fantasy.
Yes.
Okay, so comment your name, section, item number, then fact or fantasy to win 10 peso worth of cellphone load. Okay, again, comment your name, section, item number, fact or fantasy.
So, ang isasagot nila, fact
or
fantasy.
Okay, you choose from the two options.
Kinapudlo,
Okay?
arapaap, darete.
Yes. Okay, let us have the first one. Okay, let's see whether you know how to identify. Okay, COVID-19 mainly spreads from person to person, but it can also be left on objects and surfaces.
Is it fact or fantasy?
Yes. COVID-19 mainly spreads from person to person, but it can also be left on objects and surfaces.
Okay, may sagot na po tayo dito from Cyril May Limos. Answer niya ay fact.
Okay, what's her name, Sir Dennis?
Cyril May Limos, 9 Chico.
Okay.
So, sagot natin. Tama ba sagot niya, ma'am?
Yes,
It's a fact.
it's a fact.
Okay, it's a fact. Yeah,
Congratulations.
Congratulations, ha?
Okay, let's proceed to the second one. President Rodrigo Duterte's President Rodrigo Duterte delivered his final State of the Nation address on July 28, 2021. Is it a fact or a fantasy?
Reginel Bernardo answers fact from 9 Chico. Reginel, kamusta ka na dyan sa Middle East, ha?
Sa Middle
Sa Middle East to eh.
Reginel.
Oh, talaga?
Reginel.
Wow, nasa Middle East.
Okay, so congratulations. It's a fact. Okay.
Sa kanya.
What about the third one?
Okay. Reginel Bernardo.
Babaeng lumilipad.
Yes. Maleficent is represented as an evil fairy and the self-proclaimed mistress of all evil. Maleficent is represented as an evil fairy and the self-proclaimed mistress of all evil.
Angelina.
Ilan na ba nanalo si Lori Faye? Pang ilan niya na?
Lori Faye, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so Lori Faye ha, kuha tayo ng iba.
Okay.
Siguro yung hindi pa nananalo.
Si Joshua.
Ito, Tracy Ann Santiago Bulilan of 9 Darwin. Ang sagot niya ay fantasy.
Okay, correct. Because Maleficent is just a fictional character.
Yes.
Okay. Ayan.
Okay.
So, one of our fantasies. Hindi totoo, illusions.
Willie's pretensions became hallucinations. His condition was considered severe depression, which leads to the third theme of the play, that is, failure of American dream. His primary motivation was to attain the American dream by becoming financially secure. Other than the American dream, he desired nothing. Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful to accomplish his dreams. Because of this, he took his own life by a car wreck. Failure is no option for the one born in America. And if a failure occurs, suicide is much better than that failure. Now, I have here a question. Is the idea of suicide really happening?
Sadly, yes, it is. In fact, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, suicide rate leaps by 57% in 2020 amid COVID-19 pandemic. What is its relevance to every person's life? Suicide actually is a very difficult topic to discuss, but silence can have tragic results, and knowledge can save lives. Some say that talking about suicide actually encourages people to think about it, but research has shown the opposite.
Yes.
Even high school students who felt suicidal and ashamed were relieved to express their feelings. So thoughts of suicide, as unnatural or unusual as they may sound, represent an attempt to solve problems for some people. It may even represent a desire to make things better. Acknowledging such thinking can open doors, and it's time to talk about suicide with the aim to bring its number down to 0. So everyone has the right to live a full life. The world may not be perfect, but each of us can make it a better world to live in. Failure of the American dream was also experienced by Willie's son, which could have been caused by unrealistic parental expectations. It is also an important part of displays relevance to many students' lives today because they face the same issue. Pressure on high school students, especially in terms of academics, is much higher today than it was during previous years. So masyadong grade conscious ang ibang magulang. Pinipilit ang anak. Katulad nito, Sir Dennis.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, dear learners, yung nakikita po niyo dyan, these are victims of suicide. Okay. What you see in our PowerPoint presentation or monitor are examples of young people who have taken their own lives. Huwag na tayo magplastikan. This is real talk. Nangyayari po talaga yan. They have taken their own lives with a variety of life factors. None of us are safe in such situation. And as a teachers, we work hard to help you as much as we can. Suicide means ending your own life. It is sometimes a way for people to escape pain or suffering. When someone ends their own life, we say that they died by suicide. A suicide attempt means that someone tried to end their life but did not die. Suicide among teens often happens after a stressful life event such as problems at school, a breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend, the death of a loved one, a divorce, or a major family conflict. According to Juliet Lewy, in his quoted words saying, the bravest thing I ever did was continuing my life when I wanted to die. You know, our dear students, suicide doesn't solve your problem. It only makes them infinitely, uncountably worse. This is according to Senitz or Connor, which we agree. Taking one's own life is a sign of your distrust of God and yourself. It will not promote you, but people will only judge you more. Suicide is something only fools do. You are not fool nor stupid. You may be weak, but you are not useless.
Yes.
Let goodness, kindness, and self-control guide you in the success of each life's triumphs.
Okay? So we may be weak, but we are not fools.
Yes.
Okay? So the death of Willie Loman leads to the fourth theme of the play, which is morality. Dayaw or nasaya at kababalin versus immortality or agnanayon asibibiyag. So to leave a thumbprint after death is also another strong needs of humans. Yung pag namatay isang tao, kahit paano gusto niyang maalala siya, hindi siya makakalimutan. Every human, consciously or unconsciously, has a strong desire to be remembered after his death. Physically, man is mortal. However, through his deed, he can make himself immortal. So in the play, Willie was a symbol of failure. He was considered petty and useless. He committed suicide not only because of failure, but he also thought of the insurance money of $20,000 for his family, which would settle their lives. Willie, by committing suicide, made himself immortal. Some may say that Willie's suicide is an expression of his courage because people are by nature fearful of death. We are afraid to die. But for many, suicide is morally wrong because it is considered the greatest crime against nature and future generation. If a person finishes his or her life on a particular point, he or she is also erasing all possibilities, including his possibly great contributions for the future generation. So one of Willie's reasons kung bakit siya nag-commit ng suicide ay para maiwanan ng $20,000 ang kanyang pamilya. Malaki-laki yon.
Sa ating mga nanonood at nakikinig, yun po yung kwento, ha?
Kwento lang yun.
Yung pinag-uusapan natin.
Okay. So ito nga, if $1 is equivalent to 50 pesos now, how much is $20,000 when converted to pesos? So 20,000 sa Amerika, magkano kaya yan sa Pilipinas, sir?
Ayan.
Sino kayang sasagot?
52 pesos ang exchange rate.
Ngayon, 52 pesos ngayon. May sumagot na ba, sir?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Gaano kaya kalaki sa Pilipinas ang $20,000?
52 times 20,000 sabi kasi niya.
Oo. Magkano kaya yan sa pera natin?
Kasi $20,000.
Oo, yung insurance money.
Sabi rito ni Christian Vino, ang sagot niya ay 100,040,000 pesos. Tama ba? Sabi naman ni Cyril Limos ng 9 Chico,
1 million.
104, tama ba?
1 million.
40,000. 1,040,000.
Sir, tignan ng mabuting zeros. Baka nalilito ka sa zeros dyan.
Dapat may kama kasi. Isulat niya yung standard form.
1,040,000. Sabi ko daw.
I-require nga natin sila na dapat isulat nila yung standard form para sa milyon. Anong gagawin?
Ito nga si Thea May Galabay, 140,000 pesos.
Wala pa, no, sir?
Ayan. El Salvador, 100,040,000.
Okay, si Cyril May Limos. Correct yung pagkakasulat niya, sir. So, it's 1,040,000 pesos. Okay? So, may niligay na niya yung kama. Si Cyril May Limos. Pang ilan na niya ito, Ma'am Susan? Si Cyril May Limos. Okay, congratulations, Cyril.
Ang pangalawa na pala niya sa Competency pa pala.
Oo, pangalawa. Okay. So, yan yung naiwan niyang insurance money sa kanyang pamilya. Ayan yung third theme na nakakita. Okay? Yes, Ma'am Shirley?
So, now that you have listened to important facts or ideas from the play Death of a Salesman, it's time to find out how well you understood the discussion. So, statements about attaining dreams will be given. Your task is to determine whether each statement is true or false. Comment your name, section, item number, then true or false.
So, true or false?
10 peso worth of cellphone load. Okay, let us proceed to the first one. Okay. Have a vision. Is it true or false?
So, it's about attaining dreams, Mama.
Yes. Okay, do we have already responses from our learners?
Is it true or false sa number 1?
Sabi ni Christian Vino, Darwin, true.
True.
Alright, you are correct. So, you should know who you are and what you want. Create a vision for your ideal life. Make a vision board. Okay. Number 2, upgrade your mindset and energy to match your dreams. Is it true or false? Upgrade your mindset and energy to match your dreams.
Ay, kasi matagal po yung ano.
Si Reginald ulit.
Tsaka matagal po internet. So, Cyril, okay. Cyril, may limos na naman. Nanalo ba siya?
Yes.
Sagot niya ay true.
Okay, you're correct. Cyril, it's true. So this is the missing piece for most people. They dream of a purposeful career but don't perceive themselves as capable or worthy.
Yes.
So let us proceed to the third one. It will take forever to achieve your dreams. It will take forever to achieve your dreams. True or false?
Forever, habang buhay.
Cyril, mamaya na ulit ha.
Cyril,
Natasha
thank you,
Pertan,
Cyril.
False.
Okay, correct.
You're correct, Natasha.
Thank you, Cyril.
So it won't take forever to achieve your dream as long as you stick with it. Okay, let us have the fourth one.
Lahat na sumagot ng false, salamat po.
Be possibility focus. Again, be possibility focus. True or false?
Cyril,
Si Cyril, mabilis siya ang internet connection ni Cyril.
Nakaradyo siguro ito.
Or nakaradyo siya.
Ayan, Natasha Pertan na naman. Pero punta tayo kay Fatima. Fatima Manokdok, true.
Okay. Fatima Manokdok, 9 Lanzones.
Binasa ko
Okay, congratulations, Fatima.
Why true, ma'am? Possibility focus.
So, be a big dreamer or an eternal optimist. Know that you are worthy. Know that you were put
here
on earth to create.
Yes, number 5, last not the least.
Love yourself.
Ayan, love yourself.
Love yourself. True or false?
Love yourself, a merry little Christmas. Okay, Cyril ha.
Ang active.
So, what's your answer?
May bonus points si Cyril May.
Si Cristel Jane Fernandez Agunoy of 9 Avocado. True, sabi niya.
Okay, correct.
Cristel Jane Fernandez Agunoy, 9 Avocado.
Okay.
Ayan.
Correct din si Romar Fajardo. Sino sir? Crystal Jane?
Crystal Jane Fernandez Agunoy.
Of?
9 Avocado.
Okay.
Yan.
Okay, why self-love? Because if you want to get anything done in this world, self-love or worthiness is step 1.
Yes.
You are made of stardust. You are divine. Remember that.
Okay. So you did a great job in our discussion today, our dear learners. Accept our warm congratulations. So, what did we discuss today, dear learners? Please key in your answer now at the chat box. What did we discuss today? Tingnan natin kung alam nila kung anong diniscuss natin. May ano pa rin to, mayroon pa rin siyang load.
Yes, salamat muli kay Ma'am.
What did we discuss today?
Nevada.
Yes, walang hanggang 10 peso worth of load.
Wala pa po, Ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Or nalilate tayo. What did we discuss today, dear learners?
Yan, kasi po, delay po ang natin eh.
Please key in your answer now.
Okay, sa radyo.
What's our lesson for today? Or what did we discuss today? Puro section lang ang kino-comment nila.
Kino-comment niya. Okay, so ano po ba ang napag-aralan natin ngayon? Baka po meron kayong may babahagi. Ayan. Christine Ganelag. Hello. Abril Bacadanda, hello. Jaser, ayan ha. Jaser Jolo. Okay, Darwin ha. Christian Darwin, relevance and truthfulness of ideas presented in the material viewed.
Okay. Ano pa?
Parang reflection ba?
Oo.
Para siyang reflection. Ano yung natutunan nyo ngayong araw na ito?
Or what's the idea, what's the title of the play that we discussed today?
Title pa ng play.
Title pa lang natin.
Title pa lang daw.
What's the title of the play that we discussed today?
Still have 1 minute to go. Okay. Sige po. Ayan. Game, bakit kasi nasa number 5 pa rin tayo?
Ayun nga pa na. Ano?
Ayan,
okay, si Cyril May, ay si Lorly Faye.
Orate. We discussed today is all about death of salesman.
Okay, the death of a salesman. Pero pang ilan na ni Lorly Faye yan, ma'am?
Yes, it's more than 5, I guess.
2, 3.
Sabi naman ni Edessa Monique Santos, we discuss about differentiate biases from prejudice.
Okay. So, as Lorly, bibigyan na lang kita ng bonus points, anak.
Yes.
Ano, kahit si Natasha, nakailan na ito. How about Charmel?
I guess you don't have yet Charmel.
Okay, so Natasha, bibigyan ka na rin ng bonus points ni ma'am.
Yay!
Bigay natin yung prize kay Charmel Ann Ramirez of 9 Lanzones.
Yeah.
So it's about the death of a salesman. Okay. So from the play, what lesson have you learned? Okay, kindly type your answer at the comment box. What lesson have you learned from the play Death of a Salesman? Sino kaya ang nakinig ng mabuti sa discussion? What lesson have you learned from the play Death of a Salesman? Okay, Cyril may
suicide is not answer to our dreams.
Okay, suicide is not the answer. Sabi ni Cyril. O sige, bibigay na natin kay Cyril May Limos. No? I have learned that we need to value our lives according to Gerald Fernandez. So to be truly happy means to live a life of serenity, able to appreciate simple things around you in harmony with others, and doing things that make you feel good about yourself. So remember this, mga anak. Embrace yourself and work to create a safe and significant foundation where you love and accept yourself with all your faults and believe in your own worth. This will create true happiness wherever you are.
Okay, so sayang po lahat.
So that's all for today. Remember also to answer the validating question posted in our FB community. That is, what is your definition of true happiness? Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sa lahat po naman nanood sa Hantabayanan po ang susunod nating RBI lesson, Mathematics, Grade 10. Thank you.
See you again next week.
Yes, ako po si Teacher Dennis.
Facts and information. Today's learning for you normal with capable teachers whose heart and soul are divine. Delivered knowledge inside your home through 106.3 Dance Radio. Fully dedicated to serve the public in tribute to education, reproduce of radio-based instruction. We are pleased to deliver the utmost aim of education only here on 106.3 DWDR-FM. Ito ang 106.3 Dance Radio. Dance Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Ang silid-aralan sa radyo, hatid namin ay makabagong paraan ng pagtuturo at kalaman. Mapaumaga, tanghali o hapon man yan. Ang istasyong magbibigay impormasyon kahit saan man.
Alright, here we go.
106.3 Dance Radio. Doña Aurora National High School, Santa Rita, Aurora, Isabela.
This
106.3 DWDR-FM.